Welcome back again. As it is requested by one of the students, let me repeat this again. As I mentioned earlier, there are three important features of the drafting of research proposal: novelty, social relevance, and credibility. Social relevance or national importance, and last one is credibility or credential of principal investigator. So we were talking about the first point, novelty. Now, how to incorporate or how to inculcate novelty in your investigation? For that purpose, you will have to do this. You will have to take care of these four steps, which we have already discussed in either unit 1, 2, 3 somewhere, because this has been particularly like when we were talking about literature review, there we have discussed this in detail. But still, let me repeat it again, because as it is requested by one of the students. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to do very rigorous literature review. Now, what do you mean by rigorous literature review? The meaning of rigorous literature review means you need to review as many research paper as you can. As many research paper as you can. As many means, like as I again mentioned earlier, if you want to do PhD, then at least 50 to 100 research paper need to be reviewed. For MSc project, at least 10 to 20 research paper need to be reviewed. Okay. Now, rigorous means it is in terms of quantity as well as quality. क्वांटिटी मीन्स लाइक जैसे मैंने बताया कि आपको उतने पेपर्स कम से कम 10 से 15 फॉर एमएससी एंड फॉर पीएचडी 50 to 100 पेपर आपने करने चाहिए. नाउ रिगरस इज आल्सो आई मीन whenever you are talking about rigorous, it means that you need to take care of quality as well. Quality means कि whatever research paper you are reviewing or you are considering for review, whether those are from Journal of International Repute, and for that purpose you need to understand what is the meaning of Journal of International Repute, जो हमने पहले आपको बताया था. उसके साथ साथ आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि आप जिस सब्जेक्ट में काम करना चाहते हो वहां उस सब्जेक्ट में आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा. यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई मिनिमम 10 बेस्ट रिसर्च जर्नल इन दैट पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, सब्जेक्ट का मतलब जैसे कि फिर से मैं रिपीट करता हूँ, सेंसर्स इज अ ब्रॉड टॉपिक. सो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा कि सेंसर्स ब्रॉडली ऐसे जर्नल्स को आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा आपको कि जिसमें ज्यादातर सेंसर्स के पेपर पब्लिश होते हैं, राइट. एंड देन it's not only sensor, because whenever you are talking about sensor, then again sensor is very broad term. You need to see like what would be your fine tune topic. Let us say, as I mentioned earlier, chemical sensor or gas sensors. So then again in gas sensor, which gases you will be interested in, like for example carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide or hydrogen sulfide or sulfur dioxide, whatever, right. So you need to identify 2-3 gases, and then whenever you will be searching journal, you need to make sure that those journals are going to be publish or publishing only those majority paper, not only, like more than 50% papers should be from the area in which you are interested in. That is why I said like identification of journals in the specified focus area. And last point would be the identification of potential research group in the specified focus area across the globe. मतलब आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा कि इंडिया के बाहर जिस सब्जेक्ट में आप काम करना चाहते हो उस सब्जेक्ट में कौन कौन रिसर्च कर, like what are those potential research group, not everybody, but what are the potential research group who are doing really innovative research work. It will help you to fine tune your own research. It will help you to keep yourself on track, and moreover it will help you to have always novelty in your investigation. So these are 4 steps that everybody has to follow if you really want to inculcate or incorporate novelty in your investigation. Next one is going to be social relevance and national importance. अगर आपको सोशल रेलेवेंस आपके जो रिसर्च आप करना चाहते हो उसमें अगर सोशल रेलेवेंस ये पॉइंट अगर इनकॉर्पोरेट करना है या रखना है. सोशल रेलेवेंस का मतलब क्या होता है कि व्हाटएवर रिसर्च यू विल बी डूइंग, the outcome of that research should be useful for some cross section of the society. मतलब जो रिसर्च आउटकम रहेंगे वो रिसर्च आउटकम को यूटिलाइज करते हुए हमें सोसाइटी का कोई क्रॉस सेक्शन को बेनिफिट मिलना चाहिए, राइट. If you are not able to correlate your outcome to the benefits of one of the cross section of the society, then it will be really difficult for you to inculcate social relevance in your investigation. For that purpose, what you need to do, you need to identify your own strength. एरिया ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज ऑफ पीआर. पीआर मींस प्रिंसिपल इन्वेस्टिगेटर. मतलब प्रिंसिपल इन्वेस्टिगेटर का मतलब क्या होता है कि जो मेन काम कर, जैसे मैंने वो जो स्टूडेंट ने सवाल किया था कि वो जो रिसर्च पेपर में मैंने कहा था कि फर्स्ट ऑथर इज गोइंग टू बी प्रिंसिपल इन्वेस्टिगेटर, first author is going to be main contributor. So you need to understand, like, you being a principal investigator, you being a the principal contributor, you need to understand what are your strength. तो इसीलिए मैंने पहले ही बताया था आपको कि आपको खुद का SWOT एनालिसिस करना चाहिए. आपके स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, वीकनेसेस क्या है, वो आइडेंटिफाई करने चाहिए. अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड लाइक व्हाट वुड बी अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर यू एंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ चैलेंजेस यू विल बी हैविंग. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई योर स्ट्रेंथ. क्या क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है, दैट आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू इन ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ टाइम. नेक्स्ट इज गोइंग टू बी आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ इश्यूज पर्टेनिंग टू योर एरिया ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज. जिस एरिया में आप एक्सपर्टीज आपके पास है उससे रिलेटेड इश्यूज क्या है आपके इर्द गिर्द. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर लिविंग इन औरंगाबाद, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड लाइक व्हाट आर द इश्यूज इन औरंगाबाद फर्स्ट, जो कि आपके एक्सपर्टीज से रिलेटेड हो. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल आपकी एक्सपर्टीज है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में फॉर एग्जांपल, एंड आपने इश्यूज आइडेंटिफाई किया है बायोलॉजी में. सो दैट इश्यूज यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू एड्रेस दैट इश्यू बिकॉज for addressing that issues need expertise in biology and you have expertise in electronics, right? And therefore in order to really inculcate social relevance in your research area, what you need to do, you need to first of all identify your own strength, right? And then identify the area, identify the issues pertaining to your area of expertise. तो आप identify करिए कि if you are living in Aurangabad, you see what kind of issues you are having in Aurangabad. If you are not able to identify any issues in Aurangabad, औरंगाबाद के बाहर जाइए आप, मराठवाड़ा रीजन को कंसिडर करिए कि what kind of issues you are having in Marathwada region related to your area of expertise, so that you will be able to resolve those. If you are not able to identify any issues in Marathwada region, you can go beyond that. You can consider Maharashtra as a region, and you try to identify any issues related to your area of expertise in the Maharashtra region. महाराष्ट्र में भी आपको नहीं मिलता है तो you keep on increasing the horizon, right? आप पूरे इंडिया लेवल पर आप देखिए कि उस एरिया में कुछ इश्यूज है क्या. आपके पूरे कंट्री में अगर आपको कोई इश्यूज नहीं दिखाई देते तो देन यू कैन गो बियॉन्ड दैट. इंडिया के बाहर के कुछ इश्यूज है जो आप रिजॉल्व कर सकते हो. सो कीप ऑन preparing the list of those issues, and then once you prepare the list, so आपके पास क्या होगा, आपके पास लिस्ट ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज है आपकी, द लिस्ट ऑफ इश्यूज है, देन आपको मैप करना पड़ेगा, राइट? क्योंकि कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि आपके पास 5 एक्सपर्टीज है, राइट? बट आउट ऑफ दैट नंबर 1 एक्सपर्टीज आपकी क्या है? ओके, नंबर 1 एक्सपर्टीज क्या है? which area is more like in which area you are having more expertise, right? जो प्रूवन एक्सपर्टीज कहते हो, राइट? एंड देन ट्राई टू आइडेंटिफाई जितने भी इश्यूज आपने आइडेंटिफाई किया उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है, राइट? उसका नीड क्या है, दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, एंड देन ट्राई टू सेट द प्रायोरिटीज. एक बार मैपिंग हो गया, मतलब पहले तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा कि आपका जो सोशल इश्यूज एंड आपका एक्सपर्टीज जो उसको प्रॉपर मैपिंग करिए, एंड देन सेट द प्रायोरिटीज, राइट? क्योंकि प्रायोरिटीज मतलब क्या होगा, एक तो आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि आप उसमें ज्यादा एक्सपर्टीज डील करते हो, या तो फिर वो दैट इज वेरी बर्निंग टॉपिक इन दैट पर्टिकुलर रीजन, and you believe that if you could resolve those issues, it is going to be useful for the society. मतलब बहुत कम समय में आपको उसको एड्रेस करना पड़ेगा, आपको लगता है कि बर्निंग टॉपिक है, राइट? एंड सो दैट आप ये सब मेथोडोलॉजी आप अगर अडॉप्ट करेंगे आपके इन्वेस्टिगेशन में, आपके शुरुआत के एक्सरसाइज में, it will be easier for you to inculcate a social relevance in your investigation. So this kind of exercise you need to carry out to incorporate social relevance in your investigation. National importance, like there are some missions of government of India, like national missions. For example, Digital India, Skill India, Make in India, Clean India. These are some of the missions. There are many missions, right? So आप देखिए कि आप whatever research you will be doing, whether you will be able to align your research with one of those missions. ये क्यों important है? Because whenever you are asking for PhD like funding, for example, आप US में जाना चाहते हो, right? वहां पर National Institute of Health is one of the very प्रोमिनेंट फंडिंग एजेंसी। तो आपको अगर एनआईएच का फंडिंग चाहिए यूएस में जाने के लिए, तो आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि उनकी प्रायोरिटीज क्या है, राइट? यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर द प्रायोरिटीज ऑफ एनआईएच, राइट? एंड accordingly you need to see like which topic need to be considered for your investigation there. If you are really expecting NIH to be NIH should fund you for your investigation, right? Similarly, like wherever you will be applying for grants or fellowship, you need to understand, you need to go through their priorities, उनकी requirement क्या है आप देखिए, and accordingly आपको आपका proposal जो है बनाना पड़ेगा, right? And therefore so that it will be easier for you to get the funding. And next one is credibility oblique credential of principal investigator or researcher. तो credibility आपको कैसी समझेंगी? First of all you need to identify your own credibility. Credibility का मतलब ये होता है कि आपको क्या आता है, आपके पास credential क्या है. Credential could be you see credential is always identified in terms of in terms of publications. क्योंकि मान लो आप एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया में आपके पास एक्सपर्टीज है, बट हु इज गोइंग टू रिकॉग्नाइज, हु इज गोइंग टू रिकॉग्नाइज यूनिट लेवल, लाइक जैसे कि आप एमएससी एग्जाम में अपियर कर रहे हो, व्हाई यू आर अपियरिंग फॉर एमएससी एग्जामिनेशन, व्हाई, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आप जितने भी फिजिक्स के सब्जेक्ट है वो पढ़िए, बट डोंट अपियर फॉर एग्जामिनेशन. Why you are expecting MSc certificate? The university should give you some certification because that is going to be a kind of credential you will be having, right? मतलब वो एक प्रमाण रहेगा कि आपके पास जो नॉलेज है वो सचमुच फिजिक्स का नॉलेज आपके पास है. आपके पास अगर डिग्री नहीं रहेगी, nobody is going to trust you. If you don't have degree, nobody is going to trust you. That is why whenever you will be applying for any post, they will be expecting that you should complete this and you should submit these documents. So whenever you will be submitting documents, it means that yes, you have got that credential. Similarly, as far as research is concerned, credibility means like what kind of research papers you have so far published in that particular area. जैसा कि मैंने पहले भी बताया कि one of my research MSc student who has completed project under me very recently, she went to South Korea for doing PhD. Do you know why she got selected? Because there were many students, but most of them got rejected, and she got selected. That one of the reason is she was having publication during her project when she was doing project during her MSc. मतलब जब उसने MSc में प्रोजेक्ट किया, at that time she got 2 publications in Scopus Indic Journal. Those publications are going to, have made a significant impact on her candidature. क्योंकि क्या हुआ, उसके नॉलेज से था, बट पब्लिकेशन से क्या हुआ, क्योंकि वो जो वहां पर साउथ कोरिया में लोग जो बैठे हुए, वो कैसे पता, उनको कैसे पता चलेगा? क्योंकि सी वाज माय स्टूडेंट, मुझे पता था कि सी वाज ए ब्राइट स्टूडेंट, लेकिन वहां जो प्रोफेसर बैठा हुआ साउथ कोरिया में, वो कैसे समझेगा? वो तो उसके लिए तो कुछ प्रमाण चाहिए, उसके लिए तो कुछ रिकॉग्निशन सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए. सो दिस पेपर्स आर गोइंग टू बी, research papers are going to be a kind of credential, a credibility which is going to be considered while getting funding or while getting your application shortlisted for that particular fellowship. इसलिए मैं जैसे बता रहा था कि whenever you will be undertaking a research project during your 2nd semester, 3rd semester and 4th semester, make it sure that you are publishing at least 1 or 2 research paper in Scopus Indic Journal, and it will help you to get yourself enrolled in very good universities for your PhD. Even in India also, like if you want to go to TIFR and IITs for PhD, those research papers are going to be going to play a very important role if you really want to get yourself enrolled in those institutions. Next one is like prior knowledge of the proposed topic. ये कब होगा? जब आपका जब इंटरव्यू होगा, because nowadays also for that student also got interview through Skype, राइट? तो ये तो कब होगा? जब आपका एप्लीकेशन शॉर्टलिस्ट होगा, तब मौका मिलेगा आपको, आपके पास कुछ नॉलेज है बताने के लिए. बट if you don't have like those research paper published, then your application will not be shortlisted, right? Previous published work on the proposed area, like there are 2 different kind of things. Number one like for example आपके पास 2 पेपर रिसर्च पेपर पब्लिश है, बट जो एरिया में आप काम करना चाहते हो वहां पर, जैसे कि मैंने बताया कि आप एमएससी के बाद में यू वांट टू गो टू यूएस फॉर डूइंग पीएचडी, जिस लैब में आप काम करना चाहते हो उस लैब में जो एरिया है, एरिया ऑफ रिसर्च है, उसमें आपके कुछ पब्लिकेशंस है क्या? क्योंकि पब्लिकेशन फॉर एग्जांपल आपने फोटोवोल्टिक डिवाइसेस में पब्लिकेशन किए हैं, बट द लैब व्हिच यू वांट टू एनरोल, in which you want to enroll for PhD, they are working on sensors for example, और other way around कि आपका सेंसर में काम हुआ है और वहां पर जहां पर आप जाना चाहते हो वो है photovoltaic devices में. So they are going to ask you how many papers you have for in this particular area, right? So therefore the previous published work in proposed area is going to be very, very important. And then whatever paper you have published, whether those are Scopus Index or Web of Science Index, that is also very important. पिछले एक लेक्चर में मैंने आपको बताया था कि Scopus और Web of Science क्या है, because Scopus and Web of Science are one of the very, very reputed indices across the globe. आपके अगर इस indices में पेपर अगर पब्लिश होते हैं तो definitely you are going to be shortlisted. And then it's not only paper, they are going to ask you how many citations you have, because that is also going to be nowadays. It's not only number of paper, वो पेपर जो पब्लिश होते हैं उसके लिए कितने साइटेशंस आपको मिले, that is also going to be considered. And then if you are asking for, this is not for you, but like if you are, let us say, a faculty member somewhere and you are expecting some funding from funding agency for research project, like maybe 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees or 50 lakh rupees, right? Then they will be asking, they will be expecting that you should have some prior, experience of dealing with this kind of project, and therefore they will be checking whether you have got earlier project ongoing or completed. And last one is whether you have got some infrastructure developed. Like the this is also going to be very important कि जैसे कि मान लो आप यूएस जाना चाहते हो पीईडी के लिए, तो आपको वहां पर एक रेफरेंस लेटर लगेगा, right? So the person who is submitting reference letter, moreover, it's not only that person, but the lab which you are claiming, आप जो claim कर रहे हैं कि this was the lab in which I did my MSc project. So they are going to cross verify like what kind of infrastructure that particular laboratory was having. So that will be a kind of clue for them to understand what kind of exposure you got during your MSc. तो आप जब वहां पर जाना चाहोगे तब आपको उनको पता चलेगा कि यस यू गॉट वंडरफुल एक्सपोजर. तो क्या करेंगे, थ्रू नेट आपके जो जिस लैब में आपने काम किया था एमएससी के दरमियान, उस लैब के सब डिटेल्स वो देखेंगे कि इस लैब में क्या फैसिलिटीज है, क्या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है. सो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू, सो दिस ऑल will help you to build your own credential or credibility, which is going to be very important while shortlisting your application. Now, whenever you are talking about your proposal, and if you want your proposal to be funded, then the reviewer of proposal are going to check three important parameters. Number one, what science. Number two, management. And number three, budget. What is science? Science means feasibility and time scale. मतलब जो भी आप काम करना चाहते हो, whatever work you want to do, whether it is feasible. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि हम बड़े बड़े सपने देखते, बड़े बड़े, like we always have a lot of like very huge dreams, but you need to ensure that whatever dreams you are looking for, those dreams are doable, those objectives are doable. So क्या feasibility वो topic की है, so that is going to be very very important. And then time scale, whether you will be able to complete that within the stipulated time. जैसे कि आप यूएस में या साउथ कोरिया में या जर्मनी में किसी लैब ज्वाइन करना चाहते हो, and usually they want you to complete your PhD during 3 years span, right? तो जो objective आप बता रहे हो, जो projection आप कर रहे हो, whether you will be able to complete that work during 3 years stipulated time. If not, then your proposal is not going to be considered. And therefore the science of the proposal, which means the feasibility of the objectives which you are going to undertake, and the time scale means whether you will be able to complete that within that stipulated time. That is going to be very very important. Next one is management. Management means personal, other resources, links with other group and facilities. आपका जो प्रपोजल रहेगा वहां पर आप मतलब प्रपोजल में आपको बताना पड़ेगा कि whatever work, उसका फाउंडेशन जो आपने किया, क्योंकि आप वहां पर आप कुछ काम करना चाहते हो, you want to work like in that lab, but what kind of foundation you have, what kind of additional manpower you will be you will require, what kind of facilities you will require. Like जिस लैब में आप जाना चाहते हो वहां पर वो फैसिलिटी नहीं है, एंड स्टिल यू आर मेंशनिंग दैट वी विल, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आपने लिख दिया कि आई एम गोइंग टू सिंथेसाइज कार्बन नैनोट्यूब बाय यूजिंग CVD इन द प्रोजेक्ट, राइट, एंड यू वांट टू गो टू लेट अस से यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कैलिफोर्निया, राइट, लेकिन जिस लैब में आप जाना चाहते हो वहां तो CVD मशीन है ही नहीं, राइट, तो वहां पर जब CVD मशीन है ही नहीं एंड यू आर क्लेमिंग दैट you will like to synthesize carbon nanotube by using chemical vapor deposition, then how you are going to do it? It means that you are not your management of your proposal is not up to the mark, right? And then it's not only the facilities, the linkages, what kind of, like in foreign universities, they never work in isolation, they always work in collaboration. So you need to mention like what kind of collaborative aspect your project will be having, right? So all those things need to be mentioned very comprehensively in your project, and that as a whole will be referred as management. Next one is going to be budget. So whatever budget you are expecting, budget means like there could be three different kind of budget. One, you will be expecting that your tuition fees is going to be should be waived off. Number two, you need some consumable and contingency, and then you need some stipend as well, right? सो कंज्यूमेबल एंड कंटीजेंसी मीन्स क्या होता है कि जब आप काम करोगे वहां पर तो केमिकल्स के लिए पैसा लगेगा, कुछ 11th आवर के एक्सपेंसेस होंगे, उसको हम कंटीजेंट एक्सपेंसेस कहेंगे, उसके लिए कुछ पैसा लगेगा आपको, दैट यू विल बी एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम दैट proposal, right? And second is most importantly stipend, because whatever the daily expenses you will be having, your accommodation and food expenses, your living expenses, right, that you need some stipend as well. So what kind of justification you are giving, like why you are expecting that much stipend there, and why you are expecting this much, like yearly how much contingency amount you are expecting, how much consumable amount you are expecting, that need to be properly justified. So overall, whenever you will be submitting your proposal, the reviewer is going to check whether it is science is okay, whether it is management is okay, whether it is budget section is okay. If it is not, then obviously you are going to have a lot of tough time for sanctioning your proposal. Then what are the essential of proposal to be funded? जब आप proposal submit करोगे किसी भी university को, so what are the essentials? Number one essential, outstanding science, जो मैंने already आपको बताया, right? Your science should be outstanding. Then preparation with funding agency and institution, like whatever funding agency, because जैसे कि मान लो आप यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कैलिफोर्निया में जाना चाहते हो, या CIT में जाना चाहते हो, MIT में जाना चाहते हो, स्टैनफोर्ड में जाना चाहते हो, बट हु इज फंडिंग एजेंसी, राइट? तो फंडिंग एजेंसी के प्रायोरिटीज क्या है, फंडिंग एजेंसी के गाइडलाइंस क्या है, राइट? मान लो फंडिंग एजेंसी वहां पर स्टाइपेंड कभी भी सपोर्ट करता ही नहीं, एंड यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग स्टाइपेंड, इट मींस दैट योर समथिंग इज रॉन्ग, right? Your preparation is wrong, and therefore whenever you are choosing funding agency, you need to take care of what kind of provision, what kind of the funding options, or what kind of, whether they are providing funding for stipend, contingency amount, consumable amount, and all those that need to be taken care of very seriously. You need to go through the guidelines very seriously and see what they are supporting and what they are not supporting. Okay. Third one is care in presentation, because once you submit proposal, they will be asking you to make a presentation of your proposal through Skype. Stateway you are not going to be funded, right? So no matter how good the science is, if the proposal is badly organized and the presentation is sloppy, containing spelling errors, etc., you will not be funded, because there are other proposals with equally good science, perfectly presented, and most importantly, don't underestimate the competition. बहुत बार क्या होता है, जैसे कि साइंस आपका अच्छा है, right? But unfortunately, although your science is good, but somehow you were not that much serious while making presentation. आपने जो presentation बनाया उसमें काफी spelling mistake कर दी आपने, लिखते समय बहुत सारी गलतियां कर दी आपने, and then and then your approach was very careless approach, right? You were not that much very careful person whenever you will be making presentation. At that time बहुत बार हमें ऐसा लगता है कि यार हो हो जाएगा. No, if you are having that kind of approach and if you are underestimating competition, then obviously you are not going to be funded, and therefore you need to be very careful about the presentation. You should be good in follow up as well. Whenever you will be submitting proposal, you need to keep on, nowadays everything is electronics. So you need to keep on visiting those websites for updates, and keep yourself updated. Like many times it happens that the funding agency, that particular agency, keeping some updates on their website, and students are not aware of those updates, right? And as a result of that, कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि उन्होंने ऑलरेडी वेबसाइट पे दिया था कि चलो आपको 15 दिन के बाद में प्रेजेंटेशन करना है, एंड वन डे प्रायर दे सेंड ईमेल, और आपको फिर एक दिन पहले ही पता चला कि अरे यार कर दो प्रेजेंटेशन है. लेकिन जब आप वेबसाइट देखोगे तो पता चलेगा कि यार इन्होंने तो 15 दिन पहले ही इसको डिस्प्ले कर रखा था, इंटीमेट कर रखा था. सो यू नीड टू बी गुड इन फॉलो अप एज वेल. So if you are good in science preparation, if you are very good in presentation and good in follow, obviously you are going to be funded. So these points are going to be very, very important. Whenever you will be submitting a proposal, this is going to be a overall organization or outline of that proposal, right? First, a title, right? Title should be very short and clear. I'm going to tell you like what should be the nature of the title, how can we make it short, clear, and concise. I will give you some examples. Next is abstract or summary of the proposal. Next point is background of the problem, literature review, survey, viva analysis. Next would be hypothesis of the study, then aims and objectives, methodology, work plan, budget, ethical consideration, what is going to be outcome, bibliography, and appendices, right? So this is going to be overall organization of the proposal which you will be submitting. This same outline can be outline of the proposal can be like it all depends. Like if you want to have funding from some funding agency, let's say you are assistant professor in some university or some college, and you want some funding from UGC or Department of Science and Technology, again same is going to be the overall organization. And if you want to, let's say soon after your MSc, you want to get some funding for your PhD to enroll in one of the university in France or Germany or UK or US or wherever, again you are going to submit, you will have to submit the similar kind of proposal. And if you are used to with writing this kind of proposal, let me tell you, my friend, you will be a better candidate to be shortlisted for that kind of program. Now let us go ahead and we will discuss all those aspects one by one, right from title and all those. Let us start with the title of the research project. Title of the research project needs to be attention grabbing. Whenever you are talking about title, it should be very, very catchy title, right? Moreover, you need to read very carefully the guideline of that funding agency. Like whatever funding agency you are choosing for, you to be funded, you need to read the guidelines of that funding agency very carefully. Keep your title as short as you can. It should be around 150 character long. Okay, approximately, right? It should not be, you should not count कि भाई 185 word character होनी चाहिए, but on an average it should be around 150 character. Similarly, like you should avoid filler word like case study of, effect of, comparison of, क्योंकि ज्यादातर आप अगर देखोगे तो you will come across this kind of word in titles, case study of, effect of, comparison of. Basically this is wrong practice. This kind of filler words should not be there in the title. Don't use questions complete sentence in the title. कभी भी title complete sentence नहीं होगा, या वहां पर कभी सवाल नहीं होगा. Phrase would be better. Don't use any abbreviation in title. कभी भी abbreviation नहीं होना चाहिए. So these are some of the guidelines. Now I'm going to tell you what is going to be good title and what is going to be bad title, right? First of all, good. Concise title that gives a reviewer a general sense of what you are investigating. मतलब ऐसा टाइटल चाहिए कि जो रिव्यूअर को पता चले कि व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू डू इन दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, these are 3 good examples. understanding the role of CEO for effective functioning of institution. Right? Understanding role of CEO for effective functioning of institution. Second example, social status of financially underprivileged and privileged people. And third, these are three different examples I am quoting here. Proton pump inhibitor use and development of new ischemic heart disease in non-cardiac chest pain patients. Or I can give you one more example here. I can write down here. Let us say SWNTs. I have I told you this title earlier also. Modified. Sorry, not SWNT modified. Let us say porphyrins modified SWNTs for detection of environmental pollution. You can see. You see. So this is again very comprehensive. Porphyrin modified SWNTs for detection of environmental pollutants. What does it mean? It means that it is very clear that you will be using single wall carbon nanotubes. You will be modifying single wall carbon nanotube with porphyrin, and this structure you would like to use for detection of environmental pollutants. Very clear that, right? So that kind of clarity is expected, always expected in the title. This is we reject means we don't want this kind of title. Too long and technical of the title will not gain any reviewer attention or interest. Too short or broad title will make reviewer too critical. मतलब neither it should be very long nor it should be very short, right? कुछ bad example यहाँ पर है. Determining mechanism of selection procedure of CEO as per prevailing governmental regulation and political influence in actual appointment of CEO and other authorities of the institution and its impact on overall functioning of institution. You can see it's so long. Same ये जो title था ना, understanding CEO, role of CEO for effective functioning of institution. इसी को हमने क्या करते इतना complicated बना दिया. Similarly, the second title, the comparative friend, it's going to be terminated and you will have to again join by using the same link. This is the same example. Comparative study of social status of people having